Last episode, we saw our Seahawks lose in heartbreaking fashion against the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Divisional Round 38-31. After fighting back from being down 28-3 on a crucial fourth down play, Drew Lock overthrew Jackson Smith and Jigba, and that brought our season to an end. All the adversity, the QB controversy, the race to make the playoffs near the end, it still stings. But with our season in the books, it's time to get on with the next steps, meaning the rest of the playoffs and the offseason. Before we get to the Super Bowl between the Cowboys and Colts, here's the Pro Bowl teams for this season. We only had 2 Seahawks make the team, which is a little surprising given how the second half of the season went. Rookie running back Zach Charbonnet and our kicker Jason Myers are the 2 Seahawks that made the team this season. For Charbonnet, this is great recognition of his rookie year. Hopefully he's able to add the Rookie of the Year award to his accolades as well. But we'll find out after the Super Bowl, as it's time to turn our attention there and crown a champion. With just under 4 minutes left in the first quarter, the Colts get the scoring started, making the 30-yard field goal and go up 3-0 in a very defensive start to the game. The Cowboys do respond though near the end of the first quarter, putting this 50-yard field goal up and through the uprights to tie the game at 3. The first half is coming to a close, but the Cowboys have one more shot at points. The 36-yard field goal is good, so at the end of the first half of the Super Bowl, the Cowboys lead 6-3. This is not what most want to see in a game of this magnitude, but there's no doubt that right now Richardson is being tested so far, and the Cowboys, they have all the answers heading into the locker room. In the third quarter, the Colts threatening to score on 3rd and goal, but Micah Parsons runs Richardson down for the sack. The Cowboys have 5 sacks in the game now, but the Colts do take and make the 30-yard field goal, so between the 3 field goals so far in the Super Bowl, it's a tie game again at 6. And believe it or not, those will be the only points of the third quarter, so the fourth and possibly one drive will decide who comes out on top. Put those forwards up, folks. It is fourth quarter time. With 4:10 left in the game, on 3rd and goal from the 6, Richardson fires Mo Alley Cox and he holds on. That is the go-ahead touchdown, and the Colts aren't giving that lead back. They get the win 13-6 in Super Bowl 58. And Anthony Richardson does the unthinkable in his rookie season. Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. You couldn't write a better story. Congrats to the Colts, they earned it. From one big game to the final awards of the year, it's time to see who's getting a little extra hardware in their trophy rooms. The league MVP is Patrick Mahomes. What a surprise, I know. The AFC Offensive Player of the Year is Austin Eckler, while the AFC Defensive Player of the Year is Myles Garrett. The Rookies of the Year in the AFC are QB Anthony Richardson, who we just saw win the Super Bowl, and on the defensive side, it's Will Anderson Jr. Over to the NFC side, the Players of the Year are Cooper Kupp from the Rams for the offense, and Micah Parsons of the Cowboys for the defense. And the Rookies of the Year in the NFC, Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Bijan Robinson of the Falcons, and Byron Young of the Rams gets the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. It stings that Zach Charbonnet didn't win it, but he was very close, finishing second to Robinson. Those two were battling all season for that award. As a rookie on a team who was fighting for our playoff lives near the end of the season, that young man doesn't have anything to be ashamed of. So congrats to Bijan Robinson for getting it done though. He's going to be a star, no doubt. For Charbonnet, he'll be gunning for that Best Running Back award in the future. You can bet on it. And now, it's time to turn the page to the offseason. Free agency opens up, the draft's coming up, we have some big questions that need to be answered, like our QB situation, our O-line improvements, and so much more. We did better than a lot of people expected this season under new head coach Keenan Steele, but now, can we build on our success and make sure we progress and not regress next season? The offseason is where all these answers start to take shape. We start with the guys who are calling it a career. The only retirement we have comes from our backup late season add at quarterback, Josh Johnson. We never really get to see him play with us in a game, but it was good to have him be a mentor to Drew Lock while he was with us, even to the end of our playoff run. Thank you to him for coming on and filling that roster spot for Geno Smith when he was injured near the end of this past season. We gave up 253 pass yards in the NFL last season defensively, finishing 30th in the league. Despite that though, the front office had decided to keep our defensive coordinator Scott Jackson on in his job. Sources say that this came after a lengthy discussion with Coach Steele, who made a point that it was his first year with the team and he'd like to continue building that relationship with his staff before any drastic changes get made. It's a reasonable request, but that number has to come down if Jackson wants to stay on board, I imagine. No excuses. Now, who will be coming back for next season? We have 17 players who need new contracts, but there's a big problem. We're over the salary cap by $700,000, which means that in order to be able to do anything in regards to free agency or getting these players re-signed, there will have to be some contracts that get restructured. Meetings with multiple players were had, and there were a few who were willing to restructure their contracts, thank goodness. DK Metcalf was one of them, and this would free up almost $6 million in cap space. Jamal Adams was another one who was able to have his contract restructured a bit. This freed up $7.67 million in cap space. One of our offensive team captains, Tyler Lockett, had some of his money restructured moved around as well, freeing up close to $8 million. We're making a lot of room to try to get some of our guys back under contract. The biggest base saver, though, comes from Geno Smith. We know he didn't have the best season, but he was willing to get this done, giving us an extra $10.7 million in cap space. These were all very selfless acts from some key players on the team. Now, who do we try to re-sign with the $31.5 million in cap space? Well, the first priority is taking care of Jordan Brooks, one of our middle linebackers. And we do, signing the 26-year-old to a player-friendly deal, 5 years, $28.5 million. Next is trying to re-sign one of the defensive team captains and veteran, Bobby Wagner. We'd offer a 1-year deal with $12.3 million, but shockingly, Wagner turns it down, and now he's going to test free agency. Potentially losing his voice in the locker room is huge, considering he's been with the team pretty much his entire career. You can't replace that with just anyone. With our $20 million left, move on to try and get our other middle linebacker Devin Bush back. 3 years and $12 million total, that gets the deal done. Continuing with our linebackers, left outside linebacker Darrell Taylor agrees to a 3-year contract worth $9.3 million, adding him back to the depth chart behind our superstar Uchenna Nwosu. After all those moves, we only have $8.9 million left in cap space, so everyone else goes to free agency, including 2 of our best O-linemen, including Damian Lewis and Dalton Risner. Another guy heading to free agency is Drew Lock, so it seems like, at least for now, that experiment is over, and we'll be looking for another quarterback. Lock gave us some great moments this season, including helping us beat the Rams in the wildcard round of the playoffs. We wish him well wherever he lands, but perhaps we can find a QB in the draft. Speaking of the draft, the NFL Combine is here, and with a need at quarterback, I can imagine a lot of focus will be given in the position. Greg Durant is one name who sticks out. A QB from Baylor, scouting notes say he has elite arm strength and good athleticism. He could be a first-round option potentially for us with our late first-round pick. It's time for free agency now. We don't have a lot of wiggle room to be too active this season. There's some big names here. Mike Williams, DJ Reader, Amari Cooper, and punter Tommy Townsend are the top 4 players in the free agent class this season. I could see us going after an offensive lineman here potentially. Our former linebacker Bobby Wagner does have interest in coming back, but sadly reports say that trying to do so will put us over the cap, so that's more than likely not going to happen. There is, however, a mutual interest between us and center Connor McGovern. Sources have confirmed that McGovern has been sent an offer for 1 year or $6.9 million. With that money out there, that puts us dangerously close to at our limit, so now we gotta wait and see what happens with that. McGovern does accept the offer, so he will be our new center next season at 31 years old. Sometimes you need a bridge guy so you can find the next big piece, and that's what McGovern should shake out to be for us. A solid get and filling a big need on our line. With the draft getting closer, the final mock drafts are here. Mock Draft 5 has the Bucks taking the Heisman Trophy winner QB Danny Massey first overall. It also has us taking Baylor QB Greg Durant, who I mentioned earlier, at 25. Free agency is also in the books, so let's see who has new homes for the upcoming season. Mike Williams is going to the Lions for 4 years. DJ Reader is going back to the Falcons on a 1-year deal. Amari Cooper is joining the Super Bowl champion Colts, giving Anthony Richardson a big target to throw to, and Bobby Wagner will be heading to the AFC and suit up for the Texans on a 1-year deal. These are just some of the notable names that have been signed in free agency, but with that wrapped up, it's time for the NFL Draft. In round 1 with the 25th overall pick, we don't go with the quarterback. Instead, we take an offensive lineman, left tackle Thomas Moore from Cal. The Golden Bears didn't have a great season at all, but Moore was one of their bright spots. He didn't allow a single sack all season for them. We already have a pretty solid left tackle in Charles Cross, so there's a possibility that Moore either moves to right tackle or moves inside to guard. But I think getting a guy who didn't allow a single sack all season spells good things for wherever he ends up on the line. In round 2, with our pick at 25, we do take a quarterback, Notre Dame's Shane Foster. He was projected to be a 6th round pick, but Seahawks scouts pegged him as a guy who could go between the 2nd and 3rd rounds of talent. He had a lot of hype around him in high school when he played for Mount Airy in California, but at Notre Dame, he didn't quite live up to expectations, and one of his issues was poor decision making, leading to interceptions, thus the 6th round projection. Hopefully, Foster can improve that decision making here in time and maybe become our QB of the future. We have 2 picks in the 3rd round back to back. Our first one is the edge rusher Felix Russell from Colorado State. Scouts say he has a high motor and good discipline to avoid penalties, plus he's going to win with power off the edge. Not a guy who's going to jump off the page at you, but I imagine he can develop into a solid player. Our second pick in the 3rd round is a tight end Sean Gunther from Miami. He's a possession style tight end which could pair well with Noah Fant's vertical threat style, very similar to Will Dissly in that role. His blocking is okay, so if that can show up, he could become a well-rounded guy. In round 4, we take cornerback Cameron Tucker from Stanford. Tucker has good speed, agility, and change of direction, which is needed for his own corner. He's also a savvy defender with the ball in the air, according to scouts, so all these are good signs. I don't think it's a big splash ad like Witherspoon was this past season for us, but our scouts also say they're intrigued by his potential, so that's certainly a good thing. Our 5th round pick is a free safety from Wisconsin, Tracy Carroll. He's known for his zone coverage, but he'll also lay the boom on you if he gets the opportunity. With Quandre Diggs getting up there in age, entering his age 31 season, maybe this is a good time to start looking for at a position. 2 more picks to go, starting with our 6th rounder. We go back to the defensive line, this time taking D-tackle Doug Gold out of Northwestern. He may be a big boy at 304 pounds, but his speed rush moves are where it's at. Finesse is his game, and he'll use the spin move as a counter. You can always have more line depth. Our final pick of the draft this season in the 7th round is the Boise State Bronco route outside linebacker Manny Johnson. He's the guy who could be an asset in the pass rush, with his speed and acceleration serving him well there. He also has pretty average zone coverage out of linebackers in this class, so maybe he develops into a decent 2-way kind of linebacker. Maybe. And with that, the NFL draft is over. Here's another look at all of our picks, but let's see what happened with some of the other teams and their picks. Starting with the Bucs, they took the Heisman Trophy winner Danny Massey with their 1st overall pick. Massey was a very divisive player at USC. He was a 4-year starter. He was just okay in his first 3 seasons. Some say he's a system QB, but others say he's just starting to tap into his upside. The Cardinals took left tackle Justin Thomas with the number 2 overall pick. He was a 5th-year senior at UCLA, and scouts say he should have left 2 seasons ago. He didn't allow a sack for his entire college career. That is insane. Some people are even comparing him to Hall of Famer Jonathan Ogden. The Titans at 3 took left outside linebacker Dakari Bell. He was an elite SEC defender for Alabama, no surprise I think there. Winning the Butt Kiss Award will do that, as well as being a 2-time team captain for the Crimson Tide. It seems like the Titans have a superstar linebacker on their hands. Who knows, maybe he'll be the new version of Keith Bulluck. There's always some standouts in each class. Let's check those guys out next. The Falcons' 1st round pick, Jermichael Weeks, is the fastest player in the class. Great. Give Desmond Ridder more weapons to throw to. He's raw as a receiver, but he can be useful on special teams too. He returned 6 punts for touchdowns in his time with the Kentucky Wildcats. With the retirement of Cordero Patterson, they just replaced him on special teams. The most talented players in this class are Justin Thomas, who we just spoke about a bit ago, and the Rams free safety Cam Robinson. Fantastic. Now to see this guy twice a year. He was their number 22 overall pick in the 1st round, with big accolades behind him. He broke the Wisconsin record for interceptions with 22 career picks, and he was a consensus first-team All-American his senior season with the Badgers, as well as a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten. He can play either man or zone coverage and excels in run defense too, according to scouts. This guy is looking like the truth, man. The final player for this section is middle linebacker Thad Ash from the Washington Commanders. He's the smartest player in this class. He was a stud for a very mediocre South Carolina team. He's extremely versatile, and believe it or not, the Gamecocks were his only Power 5 offer out of high school. Clearly they did their homework. The Commanders looks like they did too, taking him at number 8. With the draft behind us, teams are getting their rosters all set up for the preseason, and our first round pick, Thomas Moore, will be moving inside the left guard due to a lack of depth there at the position, according to team scouts, and will put a bow on things there. What did you think of this offseason? How well did we do trying to get the team ready for year 2? Leave a like and your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new, consider subscribing. I'm on the road to 500 subs, and I'd love to have you join me on this journey. And if you want to see where this all started, the first video is in the end card if YouTube puts it there for me. Help me out, YouTube, come on. Anyway guys, keep on shining and keep on grinding. I will see you all in the next one. Also, big shout out and thank you to LAMBZY for subscribing to the $1 Ko-Fi tier, the JJ Morales tier. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support truly.